Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT. I just finished live streaming the Nintendo Switch Nindies Showcase 2019, and while there were a lot of great games, and this may have been the greatest Nindies Direct Nintendo has ever put on, I'm having a sincere feeling of overwhelmed. I can't grasp how many games are coming out. I'm trying to put into perspective what's good, what's not, what I'm excited to play on top of all the games that are already scheduled to be coming out. Now we have this slew of games to be piled on top of that. Yes, it's a first world problem complaint, but holy crap, there are a lot of good games to go over here. JT. Alright, the biggest thing coming out of this Nindies Direct is Cuphead, a game that's already available on Xbox. People have already played it, beaten it, and moved on from it. It's coming to the Nintendo Switch, and while people who may not be familiar with Cuphead will not see why that's important, it's kind of groundbreaking. They even said during the presentation, and I quote, "Our friends at Microsoft," from Nintendo saying "our friends at Microsoft."
Nope, you're not dreaming. Cuphead is coming to the Nintendo Switch system. You can thank Studio MDHR for making their award-winning game so special, and our friends at Microsoft for helping us bring Cuphead to even more players.
My point is, Cuphead coming to the Switch is a much bigger deal than just a game showing up on the Switch. It shows backroom talks with things that are going on, how Microsoft and Nintendo are becoming very close with each other, and points to something in the future that I've talked about a lot on this channel. Now with Cuphead out of the way, a game that people are very familiar with, it's exciting it's coming to the Switch, but to be honest, I'm gonna double dip, I'm gonna buy it again. I've already beaten it, I've already played it a ton, I'm gonna buy it again, it's a great game, and if you haven't played Cuphead, get it. As far as the other games though, holy crap, this event blew me away. A game called Overland from the Cannibalt creator has randomly generated post-apocalyptic worlds to traverse. My friend Pedro is a console exclusive coming from Devolver Digital. We heard about this game a while back, but I didn't know it was going to be a console exclusive coming to the Switch, and it looks absolutely incredible. NeoCab was a futuristic Uber driver simulator, is the best way I can put that. It's a post-apocalyptic world once again where you're the only driver around town and you're trying to keep your rating up. It just felt like one of those games that needs to exist in the time that we find ourselves, where if you can think it up, it will exist, and now we have a futuristic Uber driver cabbie simulator. But it looks interesting, I'll give it that. One of the games I'm most excited about is called The Red Lantern, which is basically an Iditarod simulator, but more than just racing, it's actually like traversing the wilderness and dealing with wildlife. They show a bear attacking your dogs in the trailer. Very gritty, very dark, and that was a theme throughout this entire showcase. Very dark tone. Games were getting weirder as time went on. As people in the chat were saying, futuristic games getting weirder, focusing on storylines that we haven't seen before in the past, and I actually really appreciate the direction they're taking with indies going forward. It's not the same rehashed stories all over again. It's taking gaming in a different direction, and for the most part, looks like it's for the better. A game called Darkwood, which was another procedurally generated, non-linear path in the woods kind of game, looked very interesting, a game I'll be keeping my eye on for sure. And then one of the biggest hitters from this, Katana Zero, coming from Devolver Digital as the publisher once again. It looked like a cross between The Messenger and Braid, where the action-packed scenes as a ninja were only complicated further by being able to rewind time and try to find a better way through the stage. Very interesting, and I will for sure be getting this game. Whether or not Devolver Digital finally reaches out to me and says, "Hey, you can have a review copy" or not, remains to be seen, but I'll be buying it if they don't. It looks absolutely incredible. And not to be outdone, a game that looks even better than that, and I'm even more excited about, coming from Double Fine Studios, called Rad, which is another post-apocalyptic action-adventure game where you take control of this dude who can morph and mutate into different features and things that he can do and ways he can attack enemies and traverse course, the landscape looks like it even mixed in some aspects of dungeon crawling like Zelda puzzle solving mechanics. I'm extremely interested in this one and will sure be picking it up as well if I can find the time to play all these incredible games. Once again, holy crap, this was an incredible presentation. I was a huge fan of a game called Yoku's Island Express, which introduced me to the genre of pinball action adventure, which I didn't even know existed before playing this game, and it's a ton of fun. Definitely pick it up if you think it sounds interesting to you. The reason why I bring that up is because there's another pinball action adventure game that got announced during this presentation, and it was called Creature in the Well. A lot more gritty and darker tone than Yoku's Island Express, and it's a different perspective from the camera, but it still incorporates pinball elements and the action adventure. Looking forward to that, like all of these. Bloodroots was another game they brought up that kind of looks like a beat-em-up game, but they said it was a top-down action-adventure game. Regardless of that, fast-paced action, lots of fighting involved, and looked like it was a lot of fun as well. Are you sensing a pattern here? All of these games look like a lot of fun. And one game that I felt like got kind of grazed over because it was thrown into the middle of all this was a game called Pine. Very excited about this one as well. Their Story Becomes Yours, a primal fantasy third-person action-adventure game coming out in August of 2019. It should be on everyone's radar. Don't let the fact that they dropped it in the middle of a direct in between a bunch of heavy hitters make you lose any kind of excitement for this, because I feel like it's going to be quite the sleeper hit this year, at least based off of what they showed us in the trailer. Then they went through a bunch of other mini indie games that looked interesting, looked fun, nothing I really would be buying day one or caring about, but if it turns out to be a fun game, I'll definitely be checking these ones out as well. Then they announced Blaster Master 02, available the same day as the Direct. This is crazy. $10 for Blaster Master 02, a follow-up to one of the best indie games on the Nintendo Switch that was available back when the Switch came out launch. Other highlights included Stranger Things, the game, which I said during the live stream looked like it could be a lot of fun, also looked like it could be kind of hit or miss, so I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that one, but not really getting my hopes up. I'll be pleasantly surprised if a TV show tie-in game actually turns out to be spectacular on the Switch. A lot of potential for it, but like I said, holding back my expectations on this one until we find out more about it. And finally, they ended the show with a surprise just as big as how they opened the show with Cuphead, and that is Crypt of the Necrodancer, which on the surface isn't a big deal, but then when you see that they're tying in the Zelda franchise with it and calling it Cadence of Hyrule coming in spring 2019, it completely shocked the entire room. Everybody was taken back by this. Crypt of the Necrodancer got a lot of great reviews. People loved the rhythm action adventure that it presented. It was a very new take on a new genre that really never existed before then, the way it approached it. Now having that same game and incorporating the Zelda lore, the Zelda characters, the story into that, it's just fantastic on a number of levels. One, an indie game partnering with Nintendo, a franchise that in the past Nintendo would never share with, never mind a third party, but an indie developer being able to use Link and Zelda in their game. It's wild to think what the potential will be in the future if this is what they're allowing from Cadence of Hyrule currently. A terrific Nindies Direct that completely blew me away. Like I said, I am overwhelmed by the amount of games that are coming down the pipeline, the sheer amount of games on my Nintendo Switch right now that I still haven't even gotten to because I'm so hooked on the ones that I'm currently playing. Tetris 99, I'm looking at you. I don't know how people are supposed to find the time to play all these games. I do this for a living and I don't have time to play all these games. So with that being said, what a time to be a gamer, what a time to be alive. The choices are nearly endless. First world problems abound. It is amazing. I'm just gonna end it right there so that I can go play some more games instead of keep talking to a camera. But let me know what you guys think, what you're most excited about, what you're most looking forward to. I'll leave it right there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.